Professor Nandini Sahu. Please welcome our chief guest, Honorable Vice-Chancellor of the University of Delhi, Prof.Yogesh. Our guest of honor, Professor Nandini Sahu. Registrar of University of Delhi, Dr. Vikas, Dean of Colleges, Professor Balram Pali, Head of the Department of English, Professor Nandini Sahu. The Director of South Campus is arriving. Namaskaram and a very warm welcome to all of you in this launch event of the book Shedding the Metaphor by Professor Nandini Sahu. कार्यक्रम का आरंभ विश्वविद्यालय को गीत से होगा। आपके सामने रखी हुई लीफलेट में विश्वविद्यालय के एक प्रति संज्ञा है। Please rise. Once again, we feel immense pleasure to welcome all of you to the book launch event of Shedding the Metaphor. Taking the program forward, I invite Professor Vice-Chancellor, Head of the Department of English, University of Delhi, for a formal welcome of the dignitaries and to say a few words about the book.
Our chief guest for this evening, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, University of Delhi, Prof.Yogesh Singh, other dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of University of Delhi, it's my proud privilege to welcome first and foremost the chief guest of this evening's book launch, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, University of Delhi, Prof.Yogesh Singh, who, despite his busy schedule, has been able to spare his valuable time to be with us this evening for this important book launch. In fact, I may share with all of you that it was his vision and his initiative that inspired us to carry forward this event and request Professor Nandini Sahu, our guest of honor this evening, the author of Shedding the Metaphors, to kindly allow the University of Delhi to launch the book on this very auspicious day. Thank you very much, sir, for taking out time and inspiring us for this event. And not just inspiring us, for giving all possible support. I also very warmly welcome the author of Shedding the Metaphors, Professor Nandini Sahu, a distinguished academician, an established author, a renowned critic, and a wonderful human being who is among us and has the guest of honor for this evening. Professor Sahu, I must share with you, has been very supportive to the Department of English and to the university in its various activities over a period of time. She is not just a professor of English at IGNOU, former director, School of Foreign Languages at IGNOU, a renowned author of more than 20 books, a folklorist who has brought the discipline of folklore studies in Indian body systems to the fore in the Indian literary scene. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being with us. She is a great friend, but on a formal occasion, thank you, Professor Sahu. And she is always very warm and wonderful human being, committed to social empowerment, equality, equity, and many more, which are too many to share in this very brief space. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to launch your book, Shedding the Metaphors. We warmly welcome the Dean of Colleges, Professor Pani, Professor Shilpakash, the Director of South Campus, who I suppose will be with us very soon. The Registrar, University of Delhi, Dr. Vikas Gupta, and Professor Raj Kumar from Department of English, who will be speaking on the book. We also welcome my colleagues from the Department of English, distinguished guests, the deans, members of the Vice-Chancellor's teams, the joint registrars, the deans, other members of the university fraternity, distinguished guests from various parts of the city. Just a few words about Shedding the Metaphor, the book that we are going to launch today. Of course, you will have lots to hear during the course of the program. It is a book unique in many ways. The current stories in this book are well connected through strong threads, and yet each of these is different, each of these is diverse, each of these, in a manner of speaking, is critiquing one another. Issues such as gender, mental health, aging, LGBTQ, Indian knowledge system, love, relationship, politics, all encompassed in the short book of 12 stories. If the first story, the story The Difference, talks about a very different kind of relationship, perhaps not very possible in today, but definitely a very ideal kind of relationship where two people hardly meet, and yet they have a very strong tie in the end of their life. The next story, Alternative Masculinity, talks about a relationship of a very different kind. One often wonders whether the stories are fictional, drawn from reality, autobiographical, partly biographical, or perhaps, to an extent, all of these in some way or another. The last story in this book, God's Own Wife, is a kind of memoir. The author clearly mentions that this is a kind of autobiographical story, but it's culminating as far as the book is concerned. I think it also tells a lot about the stories preceding this story, stories which are personal, political, social, creative, and yet critical, talking about our times, our issues, and telling us the way forward. You will have lots to hear, therefore I will not go forward. As far as book is concerned, I would say a lot, but time doesn't permit. And with these words, I welcome once again all the dignitaries for joining us for the very book. And thank you, Professor Sahu, once again for choosing University of Delhi as a platform for the launch of this book. Thank you, Honorable Vice-Chancellor and the dignitaries, for spending your time and inspiring us to have this book launch function. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Anecha. Now, Director South Campus, Professor Singh is among us now. Please welcome him. Now it's time for the felicitation of the dignitaries. May I request Professor Anecha to present a short and plan to the Vice-Chancellor as a token of our gratitude. May I request the Honorable Vice-Chancellor to felicitate Guest of Honor, Professor Nandini Sahu. I request my colleague Dr. Yogesh to felicitate Professor Balram, Dean of Colleges. I request my colleague Dr. to felicitate Professor Singh, Director of South Campus. Now I request my colleague, Dr. Prof.Yogesh, to felicitate Dr. Vikas Gupta, Registrar, University of Delhi. Now I request my colleague, Dr. Bharti Arora, to felicitate Professor Anecha, Head of the Department of English. And now I request my colleague Dr. Singh to felicitate Professor Rajkumar, Department of English, University of Delhi.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. Taking the program forward, may I request Professor Rajkumar to share his insight on the book, Sharing the Metaphor.
Thank you, Nidhi. Good afternoon to everyone. It's really a pleasure to have shared this dais with all of you. Respected dignitaries on the dais, Professor Yogesh, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Prof.Yogesh, Director of Campus, Dean Professor Dean Colleges, Dr. Vikas Gupta, the Registrar, Professor Nandini Sahu, poet, folklorist, and the author of Sharing the Metaphors, Professor Anil Nolita, the head of the department, and of course the coordinator of the event today, dignitaries in the audience, teacher colleagues, student friends, and others. Professor Nandini is a prolific writer with 20 books to her credit. Sharing the Metaphor is her first short story collection. A big congratulations, Nandini. I will say Nandini, not Professor Nandini, if you forget. The book has 12 short stories. Each story is special in narrating a very different theme. The titles of the stories are for those who have not read the book. Sorry to do that. Sorry for others those who have read the books. So the title goes like this. A very different story. This is the first story Dr. Anil had already mentioned. Alternative masculinity, echoing in a lullaby, shadow of a shadow, that fellowship orgasm, the juvenile love letter, the quarantine, post-quarantine, the scarlet fly, octopus, the wild stream, and the last story is for being God's wife. Due to paucity of time, I am given only 7 minutes, so I will not go into great details about discussing each story. What I will do in the next few minutes is to bring your attention to some frames Nandini sets in her stories. It would suffice to say here that by writing these stories, Nandini has tried to capture some rare moments of human life, society, history, and civilization of which we all are a part. Some of the themes of these stories are love, loss, life, beauty, friendship, longing, belonging, betrayal, friendship, community, sexuality, identity, peace, harmony, and humanity, though not exactly in the words. Nandini as a storyteller is par excellence. She conjures her stories like an expert sculptor, with beautiful creations are all visible to our eyes. All the characters in her stories are real. They are full of flesh and blood, whom we can meet any day, any time, anywhere. Some of her characters are school or college students, teachers, professors, businessmen, homemakers, domestic helps, whose lives and profession we are more or less familiar with. But what we do not know is how they struggle hard every day and every hour to get peace without compromising with their dignity and self-respect, which are the cherished human values every human being longs for. Facing odds against custom, tradition, culture, community, religion, and social pressure, some characters in the story become victorious, but not all of them do so all the time. In fact, some of them miserably fail in their endeavors to achieve their goals in life. Nandini's stories, therefore, are both human and humane. She doesn't paint her characters black or white. They are a mix of both. Many of Nandini's stories read autobiographical. Apart from using I, the first personal narrative, the first person narrative device, Nandini has made use of her own experiences, understanding, and insight while narrating her stories. In fact, she has also named her characters as Nandini Sahu. Sonu, the boy who is sitting in the last row, her son, and many others in places. These are daring acts. I say nothing, these are daring acts of the author, and readers will validate what is being stated in the course of the narrative. But as Nandini clarified in her preface, and I quote her, the characters of my stories are mostly people around me, all people who I met far and near. When I am curious about someone's stories, I am pressed with the urge to talk about it. I pen it down by imparting my character's trait, my femininity into my fictional female protagonist. At the cost of sounding personal, I pour my image, my personality in them. Thus, the narrative sounds autobiographical, whereas in most cases it may not be so. Unquote. It is not that Nandini's protagonists are all females. There are at least two stories, Post-Quarantine and Octopus, where the protagonist happens to be males. It must have been a real challenge for Nandini to pour out masculine emotion and narrate stories from the male perspective. The locales of the stories are spread far and wide, beginning from G. Udayagiri, a part of Kulkarni, where Nandini was born and brought up, to Kolkata, where she studied, and Delhi, where she lives and works. Her stories also travel around various other parts of India, such as Kerala and outside India, New Jersey, for example. This shows the degree of dynamism her characters evolve into and play around in. In that sense, Nandini as a storyteller is not local or national. Her vision and cosmopolitanism are global. Nandini's language in the story is quite poetic. That is because she is primarily a poet. She has used many colloquial words from Odia, Hindi and Bengali, which are rich with cultural tradition. Meanings of words and idioms such as pakodas, pagli, giti, grubapalito kosu, ahe doyamay vishwabihari, kaichamali, fulabudi, patomausi, kumari puja, prasad, etc. There are too many words, that I did not. May be difficult for non-Odia, non-Hindi, non-Bengali readers to comprehend. But by using those in the stories, Nandini has tried to contribute to the richness of the English language vocabulary. As a professor of English, she has also referred to several English texts and some authors throughout the story. Be it a reference to Robert Browning's Last Duchess, or Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own, or even a simple mention of names such as William Blake or Shelley. We are reminded of English society, history and their culture. Thus, the stories are quite interesting due to intertextual readings of different events and subjectivity across culture. To conclude, Nandini's stories are culturally rich, linguistically diverse, and thematically dense. Hence, they require a complex but a happy living. So, congratulations, Nandini, once again, and thank you all for your patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rajkumar, for walking us through the metaphorical corridors. Now, I request Professor Balram Bhani, Dean of Colleges, University of Delhi, to address the gathering.
Namaskar, good afternoon, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Professor Yogesh, Professor Prakash, the Director South Campus, Dr. Vikas Gupta ji, Professor Nandini Sahu ji, Professor Anila ji, Professor Rajkumar ji, and my dear colleagues, professors, and friends. This is the book releasing ceremony, means whenever the book is released, means it is come to mind that you will have to at least read that book. Means I have not read that book but now, but still, means whatever it is written, and Professor Rajkumar was saying so many idioms, these are the Odia terms. And how she has put into the English literature, I don't know. But whenever I read that book, then only I know that what it is. And another one it is said that the topic is the God's wife. And just I'm surprised that what is the God's wife? Maybe she has written keeping in mind that maybe the mother. Her mother is the mother. When we say it is the general terms, general stories and graces there, our guidance. So that's why it is there, and it is said that is the COVID and post-COVID. And that is very difficult to correlate all these things. So how to write? It is from the post-era to modern era. Now she is writing everything in that book. I think you must enjoy the book which whenever you will read. And another one is that she has, it was said that she was the Amazon best-selling author. And from that point of view, I can say this book is very, very interesting, and if you read, then definitely you will enjoy it. Thank you for your enlightenment.
And now, as they say, that's the thing about the books. They let you travel without moving your feet. Now I request the author of The Shedding of the Metaphor to take us through the journey she took with her brainchild, rather I would say a heart child. Over to you, Professor Nandini, this is your day.
Vice-Chancellor of University of Delhi, and Honorable Sir, and Sri Prakasi, and Dr. Nandini Professor Rajkumar, and Honorable Registrar of the University, and the entire faculty casting, the entire faculty of the University of Delhi English Department, and faculty from my university, and Principal Ramanujan College, and research scholars from Delhi University English Department, and research scholars from IGNO. Today I see that there is a union of research scholars of both the universities, and people from media, and the scholars, participants. Very good afternoon to each one of you. Thank you very much for having invited me here. A very special thank you to Prof.Yogesh Singh for giving me this opportunity to launch my book from the University of Delhi, from this prestigious department and this prestigious place. And it's a historical place, and this is going to be memorable. My book becomes a part of history, being launched from this place by Prof.Yogesh Singh. And thank you, Professor Nandini, for organizing the event so meticulously and so professionally and with such perfection. Not a single thing is overlooked. Everything is in place, and the organizers, Dr. Nidhi, and the entire faculty of English department, and the students, research scholars, I see them running around doing everything to take care of the book launch in the most professional way and very perfect way. It could not have been better. And after listening to the speakers, Professor Rajkumar, I don't think that a writer can even ask for anything more than this. When there is a reader like Professor Rajkumar, the way he spoke, everything about the book, the nuances of the book, the nitty-gritties, quoting the vernacular words from Bengali and Odia and other things that I might have just written and forgotten about them, but he has read between the lines, and the way you have understood the book, it's like your book now. It's not my book anymore. It's your book because if you go to this essay, death of the author, you're students of literature, so you understand it better. That after writing it, sometimes sometimes even I tend to forget, have I written this? Is it my story? But then the way you read it, the way you interpret it from a reader's perspective, it really makes the book take a rebirth. So this is how today my book became part of history, as I said. And it's the best day for me, one of the very best days for me. And now you can ask me why did I request Professor Yogesh Singh to release the book. Well, sir, at the cost of becoming a little bit personal, may I inform people here that before 2 months, when the book was printed in the month of February, I sent one story to Professor Yogesh Singh, that's a research paper story. Then I had not expected him to read it so promptly, so smoothly and so immediately. He read it and then he told me, Nandini, you really write so well. I have understood between the lines, and he discussed the discourse of being God's wife. He talked about what I have written and the autobiographical elements and also the universality of the story, how it can belong to you by reading the story. Sir told me that when somebody reads this story, they may think of their parents, their father and mother, and that is how I felt that if a person, a Vice-Chancellor of a university who is so busy doing all these selection committee meetings and whatnot, you take a name and he is doing it, and he is taking that university to a new height. I have been watching Delhi University since 15 years. I have been a part of different events of Delhi University. I have been a part of so many committees, selection committees and PhD and revival of students. So I have been noticing Delhi University. This last 1 year or a few months, Delhi University has seen new heights under his guidance. And then I thought a person who is a Vice Chancellor who has no time to breathe, he is reading my stories so carefully that he is discussing the stories with me like a reader, and I felt so elevated, I felt so good. Then I told then you launch my book, and then he said it's a prestigious thing for me. So that is when I felt so privileged, I felt so blessed, and he is in a way my mentor, my role model. I follow him in many things, and if I can become 1% of what he is, then probably my life will be something different and something successful. He is the maker of the civilization, one of them, and maker of history, so he is my role model. So thank you so very much for reading my book. Yesterday I met him and he has read quite a few stories. Actually, I have been giving him too much to read, and he is reading all of them. I said, don't say that to a writer, because the writers can send you anything. So I am going to send you a whole lot of things to read. So he has been reading quite a bit these days, and I am glad that an engineer is reading literature, so that he can give human touch to everything that he has been doing. But anyway, he has been doing the best possible. And so gratitude is just a small word for here, but still I would say that I am extremely grateful to you that you launched the book today. And then Pani sir, yesterday I met him and he said, what is the book about? Then I gave him some ideas about the book. He said, come today, I will read the book. And today it seems that he has read a bit of it, and he spoke about the book. And Pani sir is like oxygen in water. In the making of this university, in the glass of water, oxygen will not pronounce or oxygen will not shout that I am here. But then the presence of oxygen is inevitable. He is the backbone of the university. To succeed in life, you need 3 things that I was just reading somewhere, that you need a wishbone, you need a backbone, and you need a funny bone. And he is the backbone of the university. He never says that. And thank you very much, sir, for being a part of this book launch and making me feel so good. I'm really feeling good because of your presence. Thank you very much. And then personally, Kanija, the most systematic person I have known, organized, disciplined, committed, and self-made person. The one who will never miss anything, nitty-gritties and the perfection. So the perfectionist Dr. Kanija, and my very good friend. Thank you so very much for taking all the pain last 20 days. So, thank you. I'm told by Dr. Nidhi and the department and the students and also Vinodji that last 20 days he hasn't missed a single day where he didn't call the DC office to find out what And you can see the outcome today. Everything is in place. And thank you very, very much. I would like to collaborate with you, to work with you under your supervision, under your guidance for many more years to come. Thank you so very much for it. Thank you, sir. And then my fellow researcher and my brother, Professor Rajkumar, my academic companion, my friend. You talked about intertextuality, polyphony, and about the cultural moodings of the book, and you read the book so carefully, and you delivered such an important lecture. If they have recorded it, then for the researchers of this book, it's going to be very useful. Because a lot of people have taken up this book as a part of their research, right? So they are writing research papers, they are doing books, and some of them have taken it up for their PhD thesis also. So I'm sure that the research that you have done is going to be very useful for the students. And thank you once again, and the entire faculty of Delhi University. Thank you very much for being a part of this, and my colleagues, Dr. Prashant and Dr. Ashish, and Principal Nandini College. Sir, thank you so much for coming here. And I said my thank you. And again, the deans and the research faculty. If he is one person, I am always influenced by him. I have shared this with him several times in different committees, and I listen to him very carefully. Every time he will say something new about Indian knowledge system. So he is the expert of Indian traditional knowledge system, and the way he handles situations, the way he talks to people, and he presents himself in different selection committees also is something for me to learn. And yes. And today your presence makes all the difference. Thank you very much for being here. And again, the teachers from different colleges I see here, Dr. Lalit, Dr. Gautam, and Dr. Mahapadir. They have been working with me forever, and thank you for coming and being a part of this. And my research scholars, Shivani and Sagar, and all of them, Bhaskar and Monisha, all of them, my research scholars are here, Smita and Bhaskar, all of my Diksha. Thank you so much for coming and being a part of this book launch, and to take the privilege of meeting the wonderful people here and learn from them, do something good in life. And if you want to be writers, this is the best opportunity to learn from people, to be good researchers and good writers, to do good in life. And also thank you, people from media. Since morning I see them that they have been taking photographs, and they have been so busy and so committed. Thank you very much. And Vinodji, thank you so much for being so committed and so professional. And the members from the staff from VC office, thank you so much. And Mr. Suborno and the entire staff, and all the people, thank you for coming here. And Rajkot Junodar is my son, Partha Sarabi, and he is taking photographs here. And when I wrote these stories, I used to discuss the situations with him. Should I write like this or like that? I used to ask him situations, and he's very, very witty. He would give me ideas. Then some of the stories he's also the protagonist. Thank you for being there. And once again, I would thank everyone for launching this book. And about the book, Professor Rajkumar has spoken so well that I really don't think that I would have to speak so much, because I don't think I have much time now. The only thing is, yesterday, Dr. Gita Arishi asked me, how can you share the metaphors? You're a writer, how can a writer share metaphors? And there is a book review by Professor Tapan Basu where he critiques that how can a writer share metaphors? Metaphors are everything for a writer. My only answer to that would be, I am the lotus leaf. I use this metaphor for myself. When I share all the metaphors, but calling myself a lotus leaf is something that I cannot share. And I'm that kind of a lotus leaf where nothing will stick. Everything constantly goes away. I don't get attached to anything or anything, and in a very detached way I handle life, I attach myself to life. So probably that is why I would write this storybook, because when I see a character, for example, you can be one of my characters. If I see a character, then I would detach myself from you as Nandini. I would look at you as a writer, and then probably I can write a story. Like at the cost of being personal, I have written here that in many characters I have poured my personality into them. And even if there are not many autobiographical stories, only a couple of stories here are autobiographical, being God's wife, or one or two, I was discussing that with Professor Singh. One or two stories are only autobiographical, but the rest of the stories I have poured my character into them. and in the absence of knowing the characters very closely, probably I pour myself into that. And so this is how probably I'm trying to share the metaphors at this point of my life, being detached and being attached in a detached way. I have been writing stories. Another 40 stories are ready with me, but I'm not going to print them soon because I want my first story book to be read, to be understood, to be critiqued by people like you, to see how it does and how you accept it. After that, I'll be publishing the rest of the stories. And for today, thank you once again, the university, and thank you, President.
And now in this part of the event, I request Professor Nandini Sahu to present her book to the Honorable Vice-Chancellor for a formal book launch.
Yes, ma'am. Back. Back. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the most awaited address of the day by none other than Honorable Vice-Chancellor Professor Yogesh Singh. Sir, I request you to kindly praise the tax.
Good afternoon, namaste. Professor Dean of Colleges, University of Delhi, Professor Sri Director, South Campus, Dr. Vikas Gupta, Registrar of the University, author of the book and a guest of honor, Professor Nandini Sahu, Professor from Indira Gandhi National Open University, Delhi, Professor Anil Aneja, Head Department of English, University of Delhi, Professor Niranjan Kumar, Dean Planning, University of Delhi, Dean Academic Affairs, Professor Ratnamli, Professor Rajkumar, Department of English, respected and outstanding faculty members of University of Delhi and Indira Gandhi National Open University, invited guests, my dear students, friends, Professor Sumit Agarwal, Principal, Ramanujam College, and other respected dignitaries present here. First of all, I would like to congratulate Professor Nandini Sahu for writing such a good book. Congratulations. When she was speaking, she praised me so much. Then she praised Balram Pani also, and in the others also. So much feel-good hormones were generated. Dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, serotonin. So many feel-good hormones are generated in this room. Thank you very much for that. You all are very happy.
I have taken notes and will write this.
Next story. I have seen Professor Nandini Sahu as an expert in the selection process of Department of English, University of Delhi. I think few months ago, when I met her first time, asking you to use only meaningful words. Try to avoid the controversial words. But my only objective is to convey my feelings, my meanings about the book and about the whole situation. So she not only looks intelligent, intellectual, impressive, but also impactful and inspirational through her writings. She has written many books. 17 is written somewhere. She has written 17 books and plus one this book, and Professor Rajkumar said 20 books. So numbers are important, but not that important. So she has written many books, good books. She has also received gold medal from the Honorable Vice-President of India for her contribution to English studies in India. You know, in the morning we had another book launch function. That was a book in Haryani language. That was in Haryani language, and now the room is same, everything is same. But and this side most of the audience are also same. But this is a book launch in a language, English language. And the head of the department, Professor Aleja, is a very inspirational figure to me. Whenever I meet him, inspired me, his presence inspired me. And whenever, I am under some problems, I feel that when Professor Aleja can manage, why can't I manage? He's managing his life so well. He manages his life so well. He drives his department so well. So that I have, in the last 1.5 years, I have learned many lessons from the life of Professor Aleja. Thank you very much. And they are such a personality in the Department of English. So coming back to Professor Nandini. So she has got award for studying English in India. She is very accomplished and exemplary academicians. Congratulations for the same. Her journey from a small town, Udaygiri, to a megacity Delhi, from Udaygiri to Delhi, and from a bookish girl, which she has put in her book. First of all, I thought, let me use another word. But I should be very careful. I use only word, bookish word, because she has used this word for herself in the book. So no issues here. From a bookish girl to a brave and praiseworthy educationist. Brave and praiseworthy educationist. She has many inspiring and eye-opening stories. And this book, Sharing the Metaphors, is a collection of refreshing stories that influence the thought process of readers. In preface, she writes, I am sharing all the metaphors attached to me in the past, present, and also in the future. So I was thinking, past is fine, present also one can understand, but when someone says future also, it is very difficult to predict future. And metaphors of future, she has decided today that I share all. Future also. Think about it. She further writes, my stories are intricate. My stories are intricate as I play around the complex human emotions. I play around complex human emotions. Initially, I thought, because I had to, attend this function for our book launch function. So initially, I thought I will read only preface about the author and some reviews of the book for this book launch. So I googled and I got 2 reviews also. I have allotted 12 minutes. So I thought this 12 minutes material I can get from these 3 things only: about the author, preface of the book, and the reviews which are available on internet. That will provide sufficient material for me to speak. But then, this sentence, intrigued me. I play around the complex human emotions. I play around complex human emotions. Forced me to read few stories. From here, I thought, let me read few stories because complex human emotions, we also deal with as an engineer by training, she has rightly mentioned, as an engineer by training and as a practicing academic administrator, I also work on human emotions. But I work only on human emotions without categorizing them simple or complex. Because I am not a writer, neither writer nor poet. But for me, every emotion, human emotion, and I deal with human emotions on a regular basis. So let me see how a writer perceives about human emotions. Because whenever someone comes and meet me, most of the time people are full of emotions. Some positive emotions, some negative emotions, some expectations, or nostalgia. So the point is, we also deal with human emotions. That's why I thought, because I handle human emotions with simple, practical, feasible solutions. So I thought her stories should also focus on simple solutions, feasible solutions. Because leadership, when we talk about the leadership, in my opinion, is nothing but lots of common sense and average intelligence. And this is true for the writer also. The writer takes stories from, in and around us. Normal people don't see, but writer can find a story from a situation. That's the, strength of the writer, or I should say the quality of the writer. And a leadership, lots of common sense and average intelligence. So when I was going through the first story of the book, a very different story, actually a very different story, taught me a lesson. She has mentioned, instincts never lie. She has written, single sentence, instincts never lie. Very true. I practice and experience regularly my instincts. And most of the time, when we are in the administration, we take many decisions based on our instincts also. Instincts never lie is very true, but then this will work. Based on my experience, I can say, this works very well only if we do not attach our motive into it. Because if someone has come and I attach my motive, maybe right motive or wrong motive, but if I attach my motive, then my vision will be blurred. I will not be able to either understand rightly my instincts, but most of the time, if I detach myself from the whole situation, then my instincts works very well. That's why संस्कृत का श्लोक है बहुत अच्छा कि कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा फलेषु मा ते संगोत्सव कर्मणि। मीनिंग दैट भाई कि अगर मेरा कोई कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते कि मैं कर्म करूं फल की इच्छा नहीं करूं, पर अगर मैंने सोचता हूं कि मेरा इसमें कोई फायदा ही नहीं है तो मैं कोई काम ही ना करूं। It happens many times in administration, governance and leadership also. We see that मेरा क्या है इसमें, मेरा क्या फायदा है? If this मेरा क्या फायदा? Kalam sir also said many times, there are two types of persons in this world. One, those who, whenever they come, they say, how can I contribute to the system? And another attitude is, how can I take from the system? And this attitude makes the difference. If my value system, or if my attitude is that I am here to take out from the system, I am not here to contribute to the system, then the whole scenario will be very, very different. But if your attitude is for the contribution, आपको आएगा ही आएगा. This is also a universal law. If you keep on doing good to others, good things will come to you. This is a universal law. That's why if we believe and practice this, so instincts never lie. And first story strengthens my belief system that yes, instincts never lie. We have to understand it, practice it, and after that see the results. Most of the time, you will take right decisions at right time. And in the first story only, she has mentioned University of Delhi. She mentioned University of Delhi. So मेरा हाथ खड़े हो गए मैं देखने आया. And she said, University of Delhi would introduce 4 years BA honors course ignoring students' protests. She must be referring to what happened in 2012. When Professor Dinesh Singh wanted to implement a 4-year undergraduate program and there were protest there. मैंने सोचा चलो मेरे लिए नहीं है She's not referring to this year, but this is instinct now. Had it been related to this, my reaction would have been very different. So, but she was referring to the past. But the point is, the first story where Delhi University is also referenced in a particular context. The first story is full of emotions, commitments, affection, and human love. I would like to quote a few interesting sentences here. Slowly, I became the vessel into which she poured all her loneliness. She returned. Slowly, I became the vessel into which she poured all her loneliness. She also mentioned about 4 essential qualities of a man. If she permits, then I can. Please. She has already written in the book. 4 qualities of man: he must be sensitive and honest. Every person should be very sensitive, and if a writers, poets, they are sensitive persons. Teachers are also very sensitive. If they are not sensitive, then they should try to be sensitive, because sensitivity helps us to take right decisions, good decisions, and guide our students. And then we should appreciate art, literature, culture, and music. So she has defined the boundaries. And it is very interesting, she has to smell good. And 4th one is, and he must make me laugh. All true. So these are the qualities which is in the story, because the writer is very imaginative, creative, original also at times. But the end of the story is very painful. When I was going through the story, because she is a very good writer, she writes well. मैं छोड़ना चाहता था किताब को छोड़ूं तो नहीं छोड़ी जा रही थी. Like what next. जो अच्छी OTT का सिस्टम था, ऐसा होता है. Story is very बांधने वाली आपको. Then but suddenly what happened in the story, it became very painful and heart-wrenching, and tears came out of my eyes. She has written like so emotionally about the subject. She is such a powerful, imaginative writer, impactful writer, and I say, because and she has written that I play with the human emotions. तो जब readers के लिए आंसू आते हैं आंख में, तो समझो writer तो successful हो गया. She has also written a memoir, last. This was the first story, and the last story, where she has also written a memoir, Being God's Wife, where she is referring to her mother. I could understand her journey and her love and affection for her father also, because that story revolves around the accomplishments and challenges of her father and mother. She narrates, Baba had a big heart. He was so popular. Baba had a big heart. He was so popular, virtuous and pious, that people called him a living God. And she is the daughter of that living God. She also writes about healthcare system of our country, which is very true. She has written, we are so conscious about physical health. We are so conscious about physical health, but no one talks about mental health. Very true, very true. And as per the international survey, out of 10 people, 6 people suffers from mental illness issues. 6 people internationally. So maybe true for our country also. हमारे थोड़े कम हो सकते हैं अगर हम कहें कि हम थोड़े कम हैं, that is international survey. But yes, in India also at least 4 or 5 people suffers from, like one is very light, heavy, depending upon But yes, but we don't recognize, because Indian system, Indian culture do not recognize this. जब भी mental issue में सीधे हम बात करते हैं पागल खाने की बात करते हैं. This is very bad. This is very bad, and we have to change our attitude towards it. Physical health is important, but mental health is more important than physical health. And we don't have instruments, we don't have right kind of environment to address such issues in the universities also. And good number of our dear students are committing suicides in the best institution of India. It means this is a very, very relevant, important and critical issue for us. And she has mentioned that also. And one of the reasons which I could sense from there is the loneliness is one of the reasons for this. Loneliness is one of the reasons, not the sole reason. It can't be sole reason. There are so many situations and difficulties. तो मुझे निदा फाजली की एक गजल याद आई, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा कहा है कि हर तरफ हर जगह बेशुमार आदमी, हर तरफ हर जगह बेशुमार आदमी, फिर भी तन्हाइयों का शिकार है. And India is very true. And then we have to know people. और दोस्तों की लिस्ट बनाओ तो 20 नहीं. आप लोग सोचना 20 लोगों की लिस्ट बनाओ तो नहीं. क्योंकि we expect 100% perfection from our friends. My advice for all कि छोड़ दो perfection 20 का 50 की बना दो. कोई थोड़ा अच्छा होगा, कोई कम होगा, कोई ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा. We have to ignore many things. If we want to get rid of the loneliness problem, we have to ignore many things. We have to accept persons as they are. As they are. But yes, this is a very, very important issue which she has mentioned in her story. I would like to appreciate her for learning the art of writing in English with clear understanding of quality, quantity, and content. She comes from a government school background. She comes from a village. Udayagiri. Her father was a teacher, her mother was a teacher. From such a background and then learning English. English तो कोई लोग बोलते हैं देव भाषा है. हाँ, सही तो बोल रहा हूँ. अब संस्कृत को नहीं बोलते, इंग्लिश को देव भाषा. इसलिए संस्कृत देव भाषा वो अपनी जगह ठीक है. But there are a good number of people who feel that English is their bhasha. It means what special efforts are, if it is not their bhasha, निकाल देता हूँ, controversial नहीं होना चाहिए. If it is a foreign language also, it requires special effort, special attention, and emphasis on everything. Because her father was very particular about that. That's why she could have understood many things, and her father provided her strong foundation. Because that I could see from her writings. But this is not easy. This is not easy. Learning a language and then playing with the language, playing with the expression, not easy. And from a person from a government school background and from a small town like that, but she could do it. I would like to place my special appreciation for her heart. Most of the stories are full of affection, emotions, and human values. Professor Nandini, keep on doing such good work. You are a leader in your word of writing stories and poetry. I repeat, you are leader in your word of writing stories and poetry. So now time has come to guide others. Time has come to guide others. When I say you are a leader, Jack Welch was a famous management personality of the world. He was the CEO of General Electric from 1981 to 2001. Between 20 years, he was CEO of General Electric. He said, I'm a great management person and a leader, very respected leader worldwide. He said, before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. Before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. But when you become a leader, then parameters should be different. Parameters are different, expected to be different. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. So before becoming a leader, success is all about growing yourself, but after becoming a leader, success is all about growing others. And when you were made a leader, you were not given a crown. You have earned that. Many times when you were made a leader, you were not given a crown. You were given the responsibility to bring out best in us. So two things here. To take out best things in others and growing others. So work to bring out the best in us. That is the best, that is the most important quality of a leader. अगर हर leader को अपने लिए चाहिए, तो वो leader नहीं. So when I say you are a leader in your world of writing stories and poetry, so work in that direction. Whether in the form of workshops, whether in the form of some other instrument, design an instrument so that you create an environment for writers, for poets. My good wishes, all the best, and help others to become good writers. Don't say jealousy. If you achieve something, you don't want to see others on that. But that's not a good attitude. अनवर शोर का एक शेर से खत्म करूंगा. तो कहते हैं कि इत्तेफाक अपनी जगह, खुशकिस्मती अपनी जगह. इत्तेफाक अपनी जगह, खुशकिस्मती अपनी जगह. खुद बनाता है इस जगह में इंसान अपनी जगह. You are a respected, outstanding writer. Now, guide others, advise others, influence others, help others to become good writers, poets, be mentor of others. Thank you, and I hope that this book will not be last book. Many good books will come in future, and we will read your writings. Those writings will guide the coming generations of not only our country, but the entire world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for such an engaging speech. I again invite Professor Sahu to the dais.
So thank you once again for being so inspirational and so particular about a few things. I have taken note of everything. In fact, I have jotted down a few points. So in the next stories, I will write about this period of the university where you probably will be the protagonist. So yeah, as you said correctly, that it's very dangerous to talk to writers, and you have taken the risk. So I have taken it very seriously. And jokes aside, when you have taken each and every word that you said very carefully, and this is a time for me to give back to the society. Like you said, I'm writing good books, and also when I design academic programs, I involve my students, like my students, Dr. Vipan is here, Dr. Sagar, Dr. Master, Diksha, and all of them, Dr. Smita, they have been, Dr. Shivani, they are writing chapters for MA folk literature and MA English and all these programs that I design and offer. And they get complete academic credit, and also my university pays them very good amounts. And their names are printed in the study material so that they get API and they get credit and everything. So I have been creating pools of scholars. I have been creating academic groups where I disseminate work. I give work to people. Like I was telling Dr. Bharti and Dr. Sadhvir, young staff members, that now join my group. I am going to give you a lot of interesting and important work. So I make it very open. Like this Dr. Anish and Gautam and Lalit, I have been telling them join me. Then Aditya is sitting there. So I have been creating groups, academic groups where people write and I publish them. I publish them in different journals, and I am trying to support and help everybody. And I have taken awards very seriously. I am going to write more and help more and dedicate myself to the society more. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Sahu. Now I invite my colleague, Dr. Yogesh for a formal vote of thanks.
The cycle of today's event is about to get into full with this vote of thanks. The event started with a sense of pride in the welcome note by Professor Aneja, wherein he showed his sharing in the proud moments of this book launch event. So I can equally, with the same sense of pride and pleasure, share the view that I am also feeling equally fortunate and honored by means of getting this opportunity for sharing some of the moments with you on this vote of thanks platform. At first, on behalf of the University of Delhi, I extend my sincere thanks to the Honorable Vice-Chancellor, University of Delhi, Professor Yogesh Singh, for giving his time for this occasion from the very busy schedule. We also felt in his delivery of his talk that it was not confined only for the author of the day, but for all who were present here. So, sir, sincere thanks to you for the inspirational speech you have just delivered here. That was not confined, obviously, for the author only, for the rest of the people present here. Obviously, the guest of honor for the day, Professor Nandini Sahu, she deserves our thanks for choosing Delhi University as its venue for the launch of the book. Technically, yes, for the launch of the book, Delhi University feels honored, but also the whole of the realm of literature, writing, language feels itself being benefited by her book. As we know, each new author is a last link in the long chain of tradition. And that tradition not only defines the author, but the author also tends to define tradition. So both are benefited. So Professor Nandini Sahu, a lot of thanks to you for choosing this place and also for contributing something significant in the world of literature and culture. Dean of Colleges, University of Delhi, Professor Balram Kaniji, your presence made us feel good. You also shared your views here on the event. We thank you for taking out your time from your busy schedule and giving some moment from that to us. Many thanks to you, sir. Director, South Campus, University of Delhi, Professor Shri Prakash Singh ji. Sir, your presence was really very much soothing, encouraging. We thank you for your time here. We know that you were busy, you were engaged somewhere, and still you could manage to give us time. We are thankful to you. Registrar, University of Delhi, Dr. Vikas Gupta ji. So many thanks for your time here, for being with us. Your presence always delights us, and it says a lot without uttering any word. Because many a time we have seen you at different platforms. Thank you, sir. Head Department of English, University of Delhi, Professor Anil Kumar Aneja. No words can be confined to thank him because the whole event was coordinated by him, and I think I won't be able to convey the message best, the words which were conveyed by our Honorable Vice-Chancellor, the way Professor Anil Aneja has been defined here for his activities, for his handling of situations, running the department. The same way today also we found him getting engaged with this whole affair of the event, and he could successfully coordinate the whole program. Professor Rajkumar is very much deserving for thanks for this book. In a nutshell, he could bring into life what is there inside the book. He spoke his insightful mind here, and he could talk about different aspects and very beautifully he could bring the whole culture. Thank you, sir, for being here and giving in a nutshell about the book, the gist you have conveyed here. Deans and members of the team, we thank you all for your support. University's PRO, Mr. Anup Lathar's contribution was there a lot. We thank him also. Department colleagues, especially Dr. Nidhi Vats, who have been engaged throughout this program from the beginning to this day. We thank you, Dr. Vats, and also our volunteers from the department and office people. They contributed a lot. So we thank you all for your contributions. People from VC office, Mrs. Kapoor as well. We could not have gone for this successful organization of this event if we could not have got Mrs. Kapoor. She had been at all points of time ready to assist her. We thank her from the inner core of our heart. Joint Registrar, Procurements and Store. Joint Registrar, VC Office, Mr. Pradeep. Sir, thank you for your assistance, for your help throughout this program. Joint Registrar and Registered Registrars, Procurement and Store. We thank you. Engineering Office was also engaged therein. We have no less thanks to offer to the people from Engineering Office as well. International Guest House people, whose services you would very soon be availing. We thank you because everything comes to that meet point, and we are thankful to our International Guest House services.
But today is the services of University Guest House.
I'm sorry. University Guest House.
He also prepares so well. You will be getting soon.
House people, colleagues from the department, guests from different parts of the city. All of you are thanks with wholeheartedness, and we hope to find you here with some new inauguration, with some new book by Professor Nandini Sahu, maybe soon. Thank you.